Hello and welcome. I'm glad you're here tonight. Whether you're lying in bed, eyes already heavy, or simply winding down from a long day, this is your time now. There's nothing you need to do, nothing to fix. Just listen if you'd like. Let my words wash over you like a quiet stream. Tonight, we're going to explore something that many bright, capable people struggle with, often without realizing it. We're going to talk about trust, not trust as a strategy or a technique, but trust as something deeper, something that lives in the space between people. So settle in. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breath come easy. And let's begin. There's a strange paradox that often goes unspoken. The very qualities that make someone intelligent, the sharp mind, the quick analysis, the ability to see flaws before others do, these same qualities can quietly work against them when it comes to building trust. This isn't a flaw in intelligence itself. It's more like a mismatch, a kind of translation problem between how smart people often think and how trust actually forms between human beings. Let me paint a small picture for you. Imagine someone. Let's call her Elena. Elena is brilliant. In meetings, she sees the logical gaps in proposals before anyone else. She values precision. She can't stand sloppy thinking. When someone makes an inaccurate claim, she feels an almost physical discomfort until it's corrected. Elena is often right. That's not the problem. The problem is that the people around her don't always feel safe. They feel evaluated, measured, as though they're always one misstep away from being corrected. Elena doesn't intend this. She genuinely wants to help. But somewhere along the way, the warmth gets lost in translation. This is more common than we might think. When intelligence becomes our primary lens for engaging with the world, we can accidentally start treating conversations as problems to solve, people as arguments to evaluate, and relationships as systems to optimize. But trust doesn't work that way. Trust is not a conclusion you reach through evidence. Trust is a feeling, a felt sense of safety that emerges slowly, often irrationally, through small moments of connection that have nothing to do with being right. The philosopher David Hume understood this deeply. Writing in the 18th century, Hume observed something that still surprises people today. Reason alone does not drive human behavior. Our judgments, our decisions, our bonds with others, these arise primarily from emotion, from habit, from felt experience. Hume wasn't dismissing reason. He was simply being honest about its limits. We like to believe we're persuaded by logic, but more often, we're moved by how someone makes us feel. We trust people not because they've proven themselves logically consistent, but because something in their presence puts us at ease. For those of us who've spent years sharpening our analytical minds, this can be uncomfortable to accept. It can feel like being told the rules of the game were different all along. But here's the gentle truth. It's not that intelligence is wrong. It's that intelligence by itself is incomplete for the work of human connection. Let's go a little deeper now. Researchers who study first impressions have found something consistent across cultures. When we meet someone new, we're unconsciously asking two questions almost instantly. First, can I trust this person? Are they warm? Do they mean me well? Second, can I respect this person? Are they competent? Can they actually do what they say? Both matter. But the order matters more than we realize. Warmth comes first. Always. We need to feel safe before we can be impressed. Think about it this way. Imagine meeting someone extraordinarily capable, the smartest person in the room, but something about them feels cold, distant, evaluative. You might admire their mind, but you probably won't open up to them. You won't share your doubts, your half-formed ideas, your vulnerabilities. You'll protect yourself. Now imagine meeting someone whose competence you're unsure of, but who radiates genuine warmth and interest in you. You feel seen. You feel that they're on your side. You'll likely give them the benefit of the doubt. You might even root for them. This is not irrational. This is ancient wisdom encoded in our nervous systems. For most of human history, the wrong trust decision could be fatal. So we evolved to be exquisitely sensitive to signs of warmth or threat, often before conscious thought even kicks in. Here's where intelligent people often stumble. Many smart people lead with competence. It's what they trust most in themselves, so it's what they offer first. They demonstrate their value through insight, through being right, through solving problems quickly. But to the other person, this can inadvertently signal, I'm here to evaluate, not to connect. The warmth signal gets buried under all that brilliance. Aristotle, the ancient Greek philosopher, had a framework for this. When he wrote about persuasion, he identified 3 elements: logos, pathos, and ethos. Logos is logic, the rational argument. Pathos is emotion, the feeling you evoke. And ethos is character, who you are as a person, your credibility, your trustworthiness. What's often forgotten is that Aristotle saw ethos as foundational. Before your argument even matters, people need to believe in you. They need to sense your goodwill toward them. They need to feel that you have their interests at heart. And here's the crucial part. Ethos isn't proven through argument. It's demonstrated through presence, through consistency, through small acts of care over time. A brilliant argument from someone we don't trust often backfires. We look for hidden motives. We become defensive. But a simple observation from someone we do trust lands with surprising weight. This is humbling, isn't it? All that intellectual firepower. And what often matters most is whether someone feels you're genuinely on their side. But don't mistake this for a call to abandon rigor or intelligence. It's not. It's simply an invitation to lead with warmth and let competence follow. To remember that people don't experience your intentions, they experience your impact. Let's rest here for a moment. Take a breath if you'd like. There's something else beneath all this, something that goes even deeper than warmth or competence. It's the need to be recognized, not recognized as in famous or accomplished, recognized in the sense of being truly seen, acknowledged as a full human being with your own perspective, your own validity, your own inner world. The German philosopher Axel Honneth built his life's work around this idea. Drawing on Hegel before him, Honneth argued that recognition is not just nice to have. It's fundamental to who we are. We literally become ourselves through being recognized by others. Think about a child learning to walk. They take a few wobbly steps, then look back at their parent. What are they looking for? Not instruction, not correction. They're looking to see, did you see me? Did you see what I just did? That look, that need to be witnessed, never fully goes away. We carry it into our adult lives, into our workplaces, into our closest relationships. When we feel recognized, something relaxes in us. We feel real. We feel that we matter. When recognition is withheld, when we feel unseen, dismissed or reduced to a problem to be solved, something tightens. We withdraw. We protect. And here, again, is where intelligent people can unknowingly wound others. When someone shares an idea, and your first response is to point out its flaws. When someone expresses a feeling, and you immediately offer a logical reframe. When someone struggles with something you find easy, and impatience flickers across your face. In each of these moments, the other person may experience something painful, the sense that they've been weighed and found wanting, not recognized, but evaluated, not seen, but measured against a standard. The intention might be helpful. The impact can be diminishing. The Jewish philosopher Martin Buber had a beautiful way of describing two fundamentally different ways we can relate to others. He called them I, Eden I, thou. In the I-it mode, we relate to others as objects, things to be used, understood, categorized, fixed. There's nothing inherently wrong with this. We need it to navigate the world. But when it becomes our default way of relating to people, something precious is lost. In the I-thou mode, we encounter the other as a whole being, not a problem to solve, not a means to an end, but a mystery to meet, a presence to be present with. Buber believed that genuine trust, genuine connection, genuine love all arise from these I-thou moments. Moments when we stop trying to figure someone out and simply allow ourselves to be with them. For those of us trained in analysis and problem solving, this can feel foreign, almost uncomfortable. Our minds want to categorize, understand, fix. But sometimes the greatest gift we can offer is simply our unhurried presence, our willingness to witness without immediately intervening. Sometimes people don't need your solution. They need to feel that you see them. There's a particular trap that catches intelligent people more than others. It's the need to be right. And let's be honest, there's deep satisfaction in being right. When you see clearly what others miss, when your prediction proves accurate, when your analysis cuts through confusion, it feels good. It feels like your intelligence has been validated. But here's the shadow side. The relentless need to be right can slowly poison your relationships. Not because correctness is bad, but because when being right becomes more important than the relationship itself, people feel it. They feel that your loyalty is to the truth, not to them. And it's in those moments, they don't feel safe. They feel like they're in a courtroom, not a conversation. Immanuel Kant, the great German philosopher, spent his life pursuing moral truths with rigorous precision. He believed deeply in universal principles, in duties, in the categorical imperative that demands we treat every person as an end in themselves, never merely as a means. But there's something in Kant's framework that's worth sitting with tonight. Kant argued that every human being possesses inherent dignity, a worth that cannot be measured, calculated, or compared. This dignity demands respect, regardless of whether someone is right or wrong, smart or slow, agreeable or frustrating. What does this mean in practice? It means that even when you're right, even when you're absolutely, demonstrably correct, the other person's dignity still matters. Their sense of self still matters. Their need to be treated with respect doesn't disappear just because they made an error. You can be right and still be wrong in how you delivered your rightness. You can win the argument and lose the relationship. You can correct the fact and damage the trust. None of this means you should lie or abandon your standards. but it does mean that how you hold your truth matters as much as the truth itself. That delivery is not decoration, it's part of the message. There's an old piece of wisdom that goes something like this. People may forget what you said. People may forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. For intelligent people who pride themselves on the content of what they say, this can be a difficult pill to swallow. But it's true. And recognizing it is not a betrayal of intelligence. It's an expansion of it. So what does all of this mean? Where does it leave us? Trust, it turns out, is not built through grand gestures or irrefutable arguments. Trust is built slowly, quietly, through consistent small signals over time. A moment of patience when you could have been impatient. A genuine question when you could have given an answer. Letting someone finish their thought without interrupting. Admitting when you don't know something. Showing up again and again without agenda. Aristotle understood that virtue, including the virtues that make us trustworthy, is not a single decision, but a habit. Something practiced until it becomes second nature. We don't become trustworthy by deciding to be trustworthy. We become trustworthy by acting in trustworthy ways, over and over, until it's simply who we are. This is slower work than solving a problem. It can't be optimized or hacked, but it's the work that matters most. And for those of us with active, restless minds that want to understand everything, fix everything, improve everything, there's something almost peaceful about accepting that trust doesn't need our cleverness. Trust needs our consistency, our warmth, our willingness to let others be who they are without immediately trying to make them better. It needs us to slow down, to match the rhythm of the person in front of us, rather than always setting the pace ourselves. Hume was right. We are not primarily rational beings who occasionally feel. We are feeling beings who occasionally reason. And the sooner we make peace with that, the easier it becomes to meet others where they actually are. We've traveled through some territory tonight. We talked about how the same qualities that make someone intelligent can sometimes interfere with their ability to build trust. The precision that catches errors, the analysis that sees through confusion, the drive to be right. None of these are bad things. They're gifts. But like any gift, they need to be held wisely. We talked about warmth, how it comes before competence in the calculus of trust, how people need to feel safe before they can feel impressed. We talked about recognition, the deep human need to be seen, acknowledged, witnessed, how trust often breaks down, not because of logic, but because someone felt diminished, unseen, reduced. And we talked about the quiet, patient work of building trust over time, not through brilliance, but through consistency, not through being right, but through being present. If there's one thing to carry with you into sleep tonight, let it be this. You don't have to be less intelligent to be more trusted. You simply have to remember that the person in front of you is not a problem to be solved. They are a human being with their own fears, their own hopes, their own need to be seen. And when you meet them there, really meet them, something shifts. The walls come down, the armor softens, and trust, that fragile, essential thing, begins to grow. It grows not because you proved something, but because you offered something. Yourself, your attention, your willingness to be with them in the uncertainty of being human together. That's enough. That's more than enough. So let your mind rest now. Let these thoughts settle like leaves on the still water. Tomorrow there will be problems to solve and arguments to make. But tonight, just rest. You've done enough. Good night.